Welcome back to GameSketch. This is 408, a tribute to Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now, I'm not one to talk much about the multiplayer.
I don't like that.
Had some quite beautiful locations. However, it's the single player stuff and the story that I find more interesting. Would I say this is the best Star Wars game ever? No, but I've actually might have just finished a few days ago with my wife one which I consider to be possibly the best, at least the best in recent years. Jedi Fallen Order, I believe it's called.
I like that.
However, this one did some interesting stuff with the story. The main protagonist being the daughter of, I believe, an admiral. I found interesting the relationship between the daughter and her father, her sense of duty and feeling of both towards father and the people, and as the opinions diverge. I thought it was very interesting how the game starts, the whole idea with the interrogation and the infiltration, and then the really superb part where you take control of the droid and you stealth through places. I think that promised a lot more for the game, even than it managed to deliver. It was just so interesting to see the other side. I like the feeling of the water reflecting, and I imagine it flowing down the path. At this stage of the illustration, I was going for a old, worn paper kind of look, and I was seriously contemplating to take in this direction. Turned out not to be the thing that ended up in the end, but still, it's nice that you can see it here. And of course now putting back all the interface elements and the little adjustments and fixes I did to the image before I started to sort of like painterize it. The game has some quite amazing moments. I am particularly reminded of a quite superbly done galactic scale battles scene, and also the battle over a big desert. I don't know the names. And now, as all the interface elements are going back, you know what time it is. It's time for... Guess the game! Just between you and me, this was actually meant to be today's game sketch. But, in a silly turn of events, it turned out I forgot to click record before starting making it. That made me very sad, because it turned out my wife actually liked this one, and was very excited that I make this one. A game that we both enjoyed very much, however, unfortunately, I forgot to record it. Do you know what it is? Please write your guess down below. And we're back, adding up the last finishing touches. Even though the direction is mostly settled at this point, I thought it might be interesting to try some radically new stuff, and occasionally I try one. It was pretty difficult to part from the more realistic kind of look, which I liked, which was very blue. But in the end, this papery texture look that had a bit of a watercolor look to me. In the end, it was, I tried to get both to work and I couldn't, and maybe each one needs to shine on its own. It's nice that you get to see them both in the course of the video, but in the end I decided to leave it as a final with this papery, textury, watercolory kind of look. The part with the lightsaber I find sort of interesting, how it's sort of splotchy and blotchy. It's interesting how strong the lights on the side are, very artificial somehow, and this is made somehow more enjoyable by water flowing down and sort of like feeling wet and reflective.
I like the feeling of the splotchy water.
I think that it is very cool and interesting how the game attempted to show you the Empire side. At least for a while, it seemed to try to present to you what good people would look like for the Empire. And it's interesting indeed how George Lucas, even in the old movies, tried to show the transition from a republic to an empire. But it also makes sense that people working on the other side for the Empire have certain perspective, and maybe many of them, as are presented here, maybe many of them are actually well-intended people, or people who think they're protecting the citizens, or people who really want to do their best. I like how the texture pops in at places, adding a bit of a special interest. I hope that you have enjoyed it and had some artistic paint-traveled fun. Thanks a lot for watching this week's Game Sketch. Hope to see you next week. Leave a comment if you enjoyed it. And until next week, bye!